Good morning.
Morning, Jeff.
How are you?
I'm well, and you?
Okay, not bad.
What's your weather like down there?
Uh, Pretty much perfect, really. It's like low to mid 70s during the day and about 60 at night. Really nice and almost no rain this time of year too. It's pretty good.
Good.
What about up there?
Oh, it's winter. It's 38 at the moment.
Well, it's not bad for January.
Actually, we're having a little bit warmer weather at the moment than we
Right.
have.
How's the snowfall been this season so far?
Almost nothing.
That's the key.
We had a dusting the other night and
Right.
about an inch, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
That's the important thing. Is less snow, because that's what causes all the storms and the power outages and all the real problems.
I don't know. We had 2.5 days of power outage without snow.
Really? Yikes.
Well, it was a very severe rainstorm.
Oh, okay.
So
Morning, Joe.
Hey, Bill, how are
Okay, sort of.
you?
sort of.
How's your back? How's your back these days?
My back is okay.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
And
One of the few body parts that's not suffering.
were you indicating that you were exposed to COVID?
Me?
You.
No, I just wanted to assure you that I didn't have COVID, that the cold is not a COVID thing.
Oh, I see.
I was there last Tuesday,
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
Hmm.
Indeed. No, none of us needs COVID.
Yeah.
My Jane's sister has it, and she is one of us who very careful, wears a mask all the time,
Yeah.
um, hasn't any idea where she got it, and she's been pretty uncomfortable with it.
Oh.
Hmm.
But
Where does she live, David?
Washington, D.C.,
Uh,
and her husband is a restaurateur.
hmm.
So, but he's real good about their practices in the restaurant too. So
Right.
they're, but he has had it
Yeah,
also.
that's a high exposure job for sure.
Yeah.
Very high. Yeah.
And he has an extremely successful restaurant, so there are
Wow.
lots of people going through.
Hmm.
And they're not eating through masks.
It's difficult. Soup maybe, but broth. So I don't seem to have brought a Amazingly enough, I have remembered to record.
I saw that when I joined. I saw it was already in progress.
I try.
I'd say you're doing a good job.
Well, you may not be here, but the Chingshaw is very happy with your energy today.
Okay.
But when you do it close to the camera like that, I hear it very loud and clear, and it sounds great.
Well, yeah. Now that I've got the original sound turned on, it's amazing how much better it is.
Yeah.
So, questions, concerns?
I have one form question going back a little bit because I've been working on it and trying to figure it out myself
Uh-huh.
because I feel like I should have been able to, and I actually still can't. And that is the footwork for through shoulder stroke and embrace.
Uh-huh.
I'm finding myself almost all the time ending up in a very awkward foot position where my leg, I have to adjust it quite a bit, my left leg. So if we can just do that, and I could watch, if you could have the camera so that it's showing your footwork through that, I'd like to see that.
Sure. That's easy.
Okay.
That's a simple one. Thank you.
Good, I hope so.
Anything for you, Bill?
No, not really.
Okay.
I've got it completely under control, David. Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna watch Bill then instead of you, David.
Gee, that's a real improvement, Bill.
Thank you, David.
So, any question about the C curve? This bend the bow and shoot the arrow as you.
Yeah, I haven't actually focused that much on it this past week, to be honest. So yes, I still have questions.
Oh, and what are those questions?
I just need to practice it more and
Yeah.
feel more comfortable with it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I'd like you to do your 8-gate standing practice without me today, and I'm going to just observe you and see whatever I can find to hopefully assist you.
I'm just gonna put the dogs outside.
Okay. Bill, I think because of part of what I'm interested in, I'd like you to turn sideways to the camera.
Okay.
It wouldn't go out. Go lay down.
Jeff, turn sideways to the camera. So I guess a number of things I might just mention. One thing that doesn't seem to be clear is that each of the transitions, just like each of the pulses, has a bend and extend. In other words, you don't go from one position right to another. So in other words, this being one of the ones where I did notice that happening. When you've completed this movement, then you're going to have a bend halfway into the movement and then an extend to complete the movement. So look for those two parts in each of the transitions as well as in the pulses. I'm seeing it in the pulsing, but not in the transitions. Jeff, one thing for you is to think about keeping the elbows as much as possible, and I emphasize the word possible,
Right.
aimed downward. So in other words, when you get to this posture, it is never with the elbows out to the side, which is what I felt you were doing.
Right. Okay.
It's with the elbows angled downward.
Okay.
And if you just feel what that does to you. This tightens the shoulders and the back. That releases it,
Right.
if nothing else.
Right. Okay.
So that's a basic principle, is ideally to always have the elbows 45 degrees down or more down. That's not always possible in every position.
Right.
So sometimes it can't be 45 degrees. It has to simply be a release downward so that you have at least some downward angle.
And you notice that in several postures of mine?
Yes.
Okay.
For both of you, you need to, when you can, and if you need to work on other things first, that's fine. But since we've introduced the C curve, it needs to be present. And I didn't feel like it was consistently so. And it has, I just want to emphasize again that it does have two parts. It has a tucking of the pelvis, which causes a very slight pull in the lower spine. It doesn't, you're not going to make it extreme and thrust the pelvis and the knees forward, but rather you're just tucking the pelvis a little bit so that it opens up the lower part of the back of the spine. At the same time, the head needs to go up and a little forward so that it stretches a little bit in the upper spine. And so the two of those cause the spine to bend slightly in a C curve. That's why it's referred to that way. That's not the traditional name, of course, as I've indicated, is bend the bow and shoot the arrow. So you're thinking of it being like a bow that bend, when you pull the string, it bends at both ends. It doesn't only bend at top or bottom. So this needs to have a little movement on both ends of your spine. And that's really important for opening up the flow of the energy through the whole body and moving the energy through the spine, which of course is one of the major connections between the top of your head and the arms and the feet. Anybody have a question there?
Not a question, just honestly, I wasn't focusing on that at all. So I'm not surprised that you didn't see anything.
Okay. Well, so as I said, though, I mean, I completely understand that, we have introduced a number of elements here.
Mm.
And if you need to focus more on some other aspect for a while and then focus on the C curve, fine. But I just wanted to make sure you were clear about that. Anything for you, Jeff?
Nope. Just
Okay.
what you said. I agree with what you said.
Okay. So now you were asking about,
The footwork on into and through shoulder stroke, and then from the point where you actually you draw in and then set your foot for shoulder stroke, and then through that and into embrace. I'm sorry. Well,
so embrace
through
comes first.
embrace, going into embrace, then into shoulder stroke.
Yeah. Okay. So we've gone into pull down, and when you done pull down, notice that my feet are pretty much in the position of a bow stance,
Yeah,
except that the left foot is turned out slightly from when you were doing single whip.
you know, I think that's it. Can you do that again? Because I think that's the beginning of my problems. I think my right foot was too far back. When I
So-
come out, when I come out of when I come out of here and set it, I've been setting it too far back, I think.
Okay, so you get to single whip
Yeah,
and you shift into the left,
yeah,
rotate and touch,
right.
and then rotate and step back, and that is a kind of a typical step back in that the leg, your right leg is actually twisting, rotating inward, so that when you put the foot back, it's on maybe 45 degrees, but no more. Because if you don't twist the leg inward when you do that,
Right.
it ends up facing out towards the side.
Okay.
And that's going to cause you problems
Yeah.
in a minute.
Okay.
So you're going, it's just like you were going into repulse monkey in the Yang style, for instance.
Yeah.
That as you're doing this step back, you have to actually allow, while you're turning right, you're twisting the leg inward. So you're on in a reasonable bow stance.
Yeah. That's the beginning of my problems right there. I wasn't setting it far enough and I wasn't twisting it in.
Okay. And then you pull down, you're just going to 60% back on that right foot.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go further than that because you will begin to feel twisting in the left leg. And you, if you have turned out too far, you'll really twist your left knee.
Okay.
So it should be very stable here, but don't go to the point where you begin to twist the knee. And if you are, that would be an indication the right foot is probably turned out too far.
Right.
And then you've done pull down.
Yeah.
The yin part of the next step here is the release, which is pick up the left toe and allow the body to rotate to the right. So the left foot is turning with the rotation of the body.
Okay.
So you've done pull down, you're turning and twisting in, and then as you shift onto the left foot, and at this point, both feet are pretty much parallel to each other, but not in mujibu, or they're not side by side. The left foot is still somewhat forward. You're simply shifting onto the left as you twist and push outward.
Okay.
So I'm exaggerating this movement. It shouldn't be out that far, but as you shift, your arms are twisting the little finger edge out, expanding that circle as you shift backward, if you will, into the left foot.
Yeah.
And then you continue to shift your weight to 100% on the left, and that moves the arms in. Just in, they just come, the fingers sort of overlap each other a little bit in the center.
Yeah.
And as you get to 100%, you allow yourself to rotate in, which is that protect the groin movement.
Yeah.
So you rotate in, and then you turn a little bit to the right to set that right foot forward. And you're turning all the way so that your body is facing in the direction of the right foot, which is on a 45-degree angle to the corner. and then you rotate left and shift forward into shoulder.
Okay.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I've been way off on footwork. I'm glad we're doing this because I would not have figured this out on my own.
Yeah. So if you go to single whip, you shift, rotate and touch, step back, turning the leg in, pull down, release, turning to the right, letting the left toe turn in, shift left, embrace, push out, continue on to the left, arms adjusting up and down, rotate in, turn and step empty to the corner, rotate left and expand out into shoulder, bend in, continuing forward and up to white goose.
Okay.
Question there?
No, I just want to do it once or twice more.
Okay.
I get it now.
Okay. Do you want to see me at another angle? Would it help to see me sideways, maybe?
Yeah, let's see one more angle. Just make sure I'm not missing anything.
Okay. So single whip. So shift, rotate and touch, step back, pull down, release, embrace, shift, continue to shift onto the left, rotate in, step to the corner, rotate and shift and expand to shoulder, then continuing forward, rotate and white goose, follow, focus.
Okay. And I actually noticed something else when we were doing all that I wasn't doing. That was when we were going, expanding into embrace. I was not rotating out with my pinky edge. I was actually rotating the other way with my hands.
Yeah.
So that's something I didn't really even realize I was doing. So that was good that we saw that as well.
Yeah, because when you've gotten to here, this your little finger, you're right, the pinky edge is going out, and then it comes in, and then it goes out again.
Right. At that last part, I was actually rotating outwards with my thumbs leading.
Yep.
So that's a big change too for me. All right.
So let's try it once. I'll turn this way.
Okay.
So single whip, touch, step back and pull down, rotating, release, bend in, embrace, shift and bend out, shift, rotate in, step to the corner, rotate and shift to shoulder, rotate and shift, white goose, follow, focus.
Yes. Much better. I'm really glad we did this because I was pretty far off actually. So more so than I thought I was.
So why don't you do that? Let me see it. Start again, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Your name's Jeff.
let me just adjust this so maybe it shows my feet more.
I can't really see your feet, but there they are.
Okay.
Yep. Do it once more.
Okay.
So go back and go into single whip.
Okay, we're going into it from.
From wave hands. Okay, so let me just pause you there. So the first part of that interrupted lift hand is to shift into the left foot, then rotate. You're not trying to rotate and shift at the same time.
Okay. So shift, then rotate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's better. So you can let your pull down go down another 2 or 3 inches, I would say.
Okay.
Your tendency is to stop pretty high for pulling anything down.
As we're doing the pull down, we're rotating with the pinky edge coming up like this also, right?
Um,
As we're pulling down,
yes,
because it's rotating away from the bottom.
right.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Better, yeah. You could even go a little bit lower, would be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
But yeah, it's far better than I've been doing. So I can work on it though. I know what I'm doing now at least.
Yeah, Bill, start that again from single whip. So when you do that transition into shoulder, the first part of it after you've done the embrace is to continue just shifting to 100% on that left foot. And then once you've stabilized your root, then you rotate in and rotate out. Let me show you what I mean. Oh, that's you. Oh, where am I? Jeff, just notice that you at this point you've been in, and then as you're rotating and shifting back, the hands are rotating out and pulling down. So you're going boom.
Okay,
Get that real arc in there.
right.
But don't let the left hand cross the center line of the body.
Okay,
Yeah, so here, and then twist in, expand out, and that's for both of you to really remember that you've got at that point you have both a bend in and an expand out,
okay,
and then Bill, you just continue shifting to 100%. And then once you sat on that leg, you rotate in, rotate out, and then shift and expand.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was
kind of
aware.
I'm sorry?
I too much turning at the wrong time, I think.
Yeah. Because you
What?
want to really stabilize
Yeah,
your leg.
yeah,
And remembering that that turn in, actually, the more you can make it this bending in and extending out, it's just a fluid,
yep, yep, yep.
almost an S curve.
Yeah.
Just
What is the weight distribution right on shoulder?
Good question. It's to try to put a figure on it is a little difficult, but what I'll say is 57% forward. Okay, so that you still have 3% to use here.
Okay.
But notice that when I complete White Goose, my knee is not here, it's here.
Yeah, I found myself too far forward. Yeah, so.
Yep. So that's the tricky part, is that you've done that step forward, and the major part of your shift forward is to shoulder, but it is not to your bow stance.
Yeah, yep, yep.
So you are more on the right leg than the left, no question. But you have a little bit left to go forward to here. Boom.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Well, I was leaning and turning too far and had nowhere else to go.
Aha. Well, that's a place to practice a little.
Yeah.
Other questions?
nope,
Okay.
That was very useful, especially the footwork around the release, because I was adjusting my left foot, but I was doing it on the heel rather than the toe. So,
It is on the heel.
just before release?
Um, well, release is where it turns.
Right.
You touch, back, pull down, release, turn on the left heel.
On the left heel, okay. Okay. I thought it was the left, I thought I had seen the left toe. Okay. Okay, so I
Left
was
heel.
here.
Left heel.
Okay,
I'm sorry if I confused you.
no problem.
um, so, Flo wants up to lift hand. That's where we are.
Right.
Okay.
I know that posture. Um, that was pretty good, guys. That's coming along. Um, I wanted to look again for a moment before we go on at lift hand.
Okay.
Um, Good. So before that, also did a couple of things, of course. As you're doing wave hands, don't let yourself do this.
Mm.
Because if you feel that, even if you haven't shifted your weight too far forward on the left foot, you're out of balance. If somebody took a hold of your arms, they could pull you right away.
Yeah.
So you have to think about where in those movements do you still have root and control. Okay? And it's going to be different on each side. It's not identical because in one you're shifting forward, in the other you're not.
Yeah.
So that's just something to be aware of.
I actually noticed that in that flow that I'm doing that really badly on the right side and not so much on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is that as you come out of that, you're going to again bend in, extend out, bend in as you reset the left foot. So that's all coming in and then going out to single whip.
Hmm.
So Bill, your tendency was to be down here somewhere and to go to single whip
Okay.
kind of in a movement like this. And you were missing the whole circularity here.
Okay.
The figure eight movement into single whip.
Okay.
Can you do that again, David? Because I wasn't getting that whole figure eight part in that one either. Like I was working it into the first one earlier in the form, but I was not doing it in that one. So
Yeah,
can you show us again?
it's you're of course missing a piece of it in this one that you have in the first one. So it's a little bit shorter, but
Right.
you've done it there, and then it goes out, in, and out.
Oh. Okay.
So you have when you come in from wave hands, David. Yeah, you're bending in. You're extending out. You're bending in. You're extending out.
Okay.
And you're twisting in, twisting out, twisting in, twisting out.
Hmm.
We'll come back to all of this, but just
Okay.
so you've at least heard it once.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was missing that extra in and out.
Yeah. And then from here, you shift into the left, sit on that left, you sweep and touch and continue. It's just touch, step. It's almost, you can, you don't even have to really, there's no pause. It's not, it can just be boom, boom. It's just on the way. You happen to tap your toe.
Okay.
So you get here and you shift and touch, step, and boom, into lift hand. So it begins just like the first one that we interrupt with pull down. So we shift, the arms begin to adjust, you rotate and touch, step and bend in, and here you're bending the thumbs in. So you've gone to the other edge of the hand. And then as you go forward, you're actually bending the little finger edge out. The hands flatten here. So it's a little, the little finger edge twists into here, and then the thumb edge twists in, or you can think of it as the little finger edge twisting out, and then twisting out further. You could stick with the little finger edge. If you switching edges in the middle of there is going to be, it may be confusing to you. I could certainly understand that. So you with me there?
Thanks.
Yeah. Can you
Yes.
the rotation to the left and the left hand in there? I don't do it the same 2 times in a row.
Oh, creative. Well, so here's, I'm going to turn it sideways. Here's
Yes,
single
yes.
whip. So we shift onto that left, and that's moving the arms. We're going to rotate and touch, and the arms circle. They compress in, if you will.
Okay.
They're going whoop. So we've had single whip, fold, if you will, start to circle in, step, and continue. You're continuing to bend in there, and then you're going to expand out. Yes?
Yeah, somehow from the step, I'm not sure where my left side is supposed to be in there.
Yeah, so that's
Arm and turn.
yeah, because so you shift onto the left and
Yeah.
you're turned slightly left.
Yeah.
Now you're going to turn right and then left, and now you're facing forward when you touch that right toe.
Okay.
Out.
All right.
And then you continue turning left to step, and then you turn right and shift forward to complete the posture.
Okay.
Did that
Yes. Thank
answer
you.
the question there? So if you're in single whip, you're shifting, rotating and touching, turn to the left and step, and then rotate back into lift hand. Do you want to try that, or do?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can, slow it down a little bit, Bill. You're kind of rushing it.
Okay.
Okay, so part of the problem is what's happening with your left hand. It's not coming in.
Okay.
Remember, when I was showing that from when you turn, they both are curving in.
Yeah.
So don't let the left get there. That's better.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was, that's,
Yeah.
I knew it was wrong to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Gonna take some work.
yeah. Um, it's. I understand. Um, where am I? I must be still in the stuff there. Let me go here. The 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 problem you're having is that is what's happening when you're turning left. You
Mhm.
this part, because it's similar to what we did before. You're just fine. That toe's touching forward.
Yeah.
When you turn left and step for the bow stance, notice that both arms are coming in.
Okay.
They're both coming in. And I'm going to turn my body to face you. Notice
Mhm.
that they are equally spaced on
Yeah.
the center line of my body.
Yeah.
And the left is slightly higher than the right.
Hmm.
And then as you rotate and shift forward, they flatten out and separate a little.
Okay.
And the left continues to be slightly higher than the
Hmm.
right.
Hmm. Okay.
Not
Yep.
for such
Lots
a,
of ragged edges there.
yep,
David,
yeah.
as we're turning into the last part of lift hand, what is that energy that we're doing?
Um, it's um, it could be on, it could be Tsai, it's it might be G. Uh,
Yeah, I couldn't tell because it doesn't feel like we're directing it downward, which is why I wasn't sure if it was on or side, but it didn't also really feel that much like G either. So
yeah, so it could it depends on what you're doing at that point.
there's a potential to be any of those depending on which direction we want to take it.
Yeah, and the thing to think about here is to think about application.
Right.
In just so you're clear, this is just another way of thinking about doing an elbow break.
Oh, okay.
In the Yang style, we do this, and it's really this is the clear and the easy way.
Right.
But if you if when you go into um, this, you get that arm turned over so the elbow is up,
Right.
then this becomes this, where you've turned the arm over and you're pushing down on the elbow.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
so that's
So
what
our hands
that's.
are rotating that way.
Yeah, it's just another application of the arm break. So it could be you might be just um, pull not pull down, uh, push down on in the right
Right.
and G in the left. If you're looking for the energies.
Could that even be uh Zen split?
Plie?
Yeah,
Or
I'm
you
sorry.
mean Tsai?
No, not pull down, but like split. Um,
Lie?
yeah,
Um, it could be. I would think it more likely to be Tsai, because if you get to here,
Right,
it could very well be a pull down.
right, okay, got it,
Depends, you know, when you get into application,
right. A lot of the times the application helps me to get a better grasp on what I'm
oh,
doing in terms of
absolutely.
rotation and rotation and up or down or all that,
Yep,
so that's why I
absolutely.
ask sometimes.
Sure. Oh, no, absolutely. I agree with you entirely.
Okay.
So, any other questions in there at the moment?
Nope.
No,
Okay. So, I was thinking of adding 2 postures, but I think I'm only going to add 1.
Good.
Um, so the next one is high pat the horse. So I'll do this on some different angles for you. Let me go back to single whip. Here's lift hand. We're going to go back, separating and bending in, and then turn and separate. And the hands end up. I'll be turned towards you in a minute. I'll do it another angle. But the hands are in a sort of diagonal hold the ball alignment. So you're feeling the energy between the 2 palms. So shift, rotate and touch, step, lift hand. I'm facing the wrong way for that. Never mind. Try it again. So shift, touch, lift hand, sit back and separate. Turn on the right heel, left toe, high pat the horse. And you're weighted 100% on the right foot. Nothing to it. So when you got to lift hand, you're in a right bow stance forward. And the body movement here is that there's a little push out of that right foot. You're going to go back onto the left foot and then turn on the right heel. And you want to turn that all the way to whatever angle you're going to need. You're actually going into a cat stance. And then you're going to rotate and rise, pivoting on that left toe. And as you come to 100%, you can let that left foot float a little if it's not in the exact position that it needs to be in. So you're weighted forward at the end of lift hand. You're going back and down a little. Turn on the right heel. Rotate and shift back, turning on the left toe, rising as you do that last turn. So this is going up, up, separate. Question?
no, but could you add the arms?
Well, I think we could do that, yes.
Yeah.
So start with single whip.
Yeah.
Shift, separate, rotate and touch, step, rotate and shift forward, lift hand, sit back, left coming down, right coming up, turn on the right heel, the arms are rotating, left toe. So as you go back, the arms are bending in. They're coming in to you. So they're bending in, continuing that bend in, and then expanding out.
One more time with the arms.
Sure. So sitting back, bending in, and then out.
So the arms are the hands and the energy, like, they're not really connecting with each other until near the end of that rotation. They're kind of more turning into the
no
body.
more than they always do. What can I say? You're always thinking of every movement in terms of it being spherical.
Mhm.
So the arms are always in connection with each other.
No, I mean, feeling the energy between the palms is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that just completes at the end.
Okay.
It's actually, see, I think that this is Lié split.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think you're using that connection to power that even more.
Hmm.
And be sure that you don't lift that right elbow. The shoulders and the elbows need to stay down.
Right. Yeah. Huh. It's a good posture.
Yes, kind of fun. So you're in left hand, so you're going back, turning, and then up. Oop, wrong posture. That's in another form. Back, back, turn, spread. Boom.
At what point are we adding in the rotation to the shifting back? Do we shift back first and then rotate?
Yeah, but that shift back is in a curve. That's what I was trying to point out there. Is that it's not just shift the weight back.
Right.
It's shift the weight back. So from here there is a little lift to that, and then turn, and you're still down. And then as you begin to shift into the right and turn on the left toe, and it starts going up. So you're powering that split.
Okay. And as that shift back and that up and then down is what changes the hands.
Uh-huh.
So
Yep. So Bill, turn it so you're facing me when you finish.
Okay.
Yep, good. No, the body movement's pretty good. When you go back there, it's kind of counterintuitive. The left hand goes down and the right goes up. Yes. And the hands aren't that far apart at the end, and they are facing each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see the rise there. You need to make sure you get yourself down a little so you have somewhere to rise from.
Okay. This goes in and back first.
Yep. Then turn and then rise as you're going on to the right foot.
Yeah.
So so you need to think of separating so you need to think of separating each part of this movement.
Okay.
So you have the left going down and the right coming up, and they're bending the little finger in.
Okay.
So this is somebody's coming at you. And you've tried to lock them. They broke that, and they're coming into you, and you're going back and controlling that. You're absorbing that energy, and then you're come on, David. You're absorbing that, and then you're turning and controlling it as you go up. Boom. Only, sorry, that's a different posture. The palms are turned towards each other. But notice that when you complete this, my hands are in front of the sidelines of the body. They're not out here.
Okay.
They're in front of the sidelines. So it's so the left goes down, the right comes up, and then they separate. They're coming as they come in here. They're rotating in, and then they're going to rotate out. So what's kind of interesting is I realize this is a posture where you have to think of the change from the little finger edge to the thumb edge. You got to let that happen here. So as you're going back, the little finger edge is twisting in, and then the thumb edge is twisting out. I don't know if that helps, but
Yeah, thank you.
It it's coming, Jeff.
Is that last, I thought, I was doing it one way. Let me do it the way I was doing it. Because I'm trying to change my thumbs at the end based on what you just said, and it's not making sense to me. So tell me if I'm doing it incorrectly.
Okay. Yeah.
That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Just make sure that as you do that rotate and rise at the end, that the arms are also expanding out from the body as well as from each other.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's good for now. I'm not gonna.
All right. I'll work on fine tuning it as long as I know that I'm rotating the right way.
Yeah, no, you are.
I'll
That was
work
good.
on, I'll work on the proper, I'll keep my hands on the lines with it instead of out.
Yeah, that's kind of important
Yeah.
because that's that connection energetically is important.
Okay. All right.
Good. Other questions?
Nope.
Have I confused you?
No, what seems to be obvious to me, the more we work on this, is that somehow the majority of what happens in the whole form is a lot closer to my body
Ah,
than,
yes.
because I learn a new thing and my hands are, and the turn is too big and everything is magnified. And then when I watch you do it, I see that it's all in here, and I haven't been able to replicate that yet. So
Yep. Um, I don't know if I'm sure Jeff has heard me quote this from Master Joe, but he would say that when you're a beginner, that everything is 95% external and 5% internal.
yeah,
And when you get somewhere in the middle, it gets to be about half and half.
yeah,
And then ultimately where you're trying to arrive at is where it is only 5% external and 95% internal,
yeah,
which indicates everything getting smaller
yes, yeah,
in the external. And that's part of the understanding behind his feeling that the natural progression was Chen to Yang to Wu.
mm,
I think especially when we are learning a new posture, it's just natural for us to do it bigger
Oh
to
yeah,
get to
yeah,
see what we're supposed to be doing and then start
and that's
making it
fine.
gradually smaller. I know that's true with me. I'm
Yeah.
always way too far out here and way too big. But then once I get the mechanics, I can work on the timing and the sizing and all that and
Yep.
fine tune it, so to speak.
And that's how everything we do is. It's
Right,
larger when we begin, and then gradually as we understand the internal elements, we begin to condense it,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
make it more powerful,
Right, right.
energetically powerful.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm right there with you, Bill. I'm doing everything way too big too initially. And that's our focus is to start.
yeah,
Once we understand where we're supposed to be turning and twisting and all that, then I kind of start to try to make it a little smaller and a little smaller. And
yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yep. Good. Well, you're both making progress and doing fine. I do not mean to indicate that you are not.
No, I don't feel that way.
Good,
So,
good.
Okay.
I mean, I see that you're practicing, and I appreciate that.
Mm.
And Bill, I understand we will not have you next week.
next week, yeah, sorry.
So, well, Jeff will be glad to have a private lesson.
Are you gone the week after that, David? Is that the week you're gone?
I'm leaving the 26th. So,
So today is the 10th. So we have 2 more classes before you leave. Then.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
And then I'm not going to be gone a long time.
Right. And then I remembered, I thought we missed 1 class while you were gone.
Yes, because I think we leave on a Thursday, and I think I come back on the Tuesday, and
Okay.
I will not be available. I
Right.
probably won't be in condition for class on Wednesday. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind on that one.
You're flying from the West Coast, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't travel as easily as I used to. Okay, guys, thank you very much.
Bye. Thank
okay,
you.
thank you, David.
Take care.
See you, Jeff.
Take care,
Yeah.
Bill.